Is the Walt Disney World Resort falling apart? Has maintenance given up on the parks? Let's find out. First, we go to New York Post by Brooke Steinberg. Disney World may undergo major repairs as out-of-control guests have trashed a popular attraction. What is this about? Oh my! It says Walt Disney World has always prided itself on spotless upkeep, but a growing horde of tourists, a horde of tourists for the horde, has made it hard to maintain the park's pristine condition. One popular ride at Disney's Magic Kingdom has fallen victim to the constant crowds of guests and tourists, long wait times, and people treating the theme parks like a playground. What is it? Well, it's the Barnstormer. Now, this was covered originally by Inside the Magic, which always raises our flags, but that's okay for now because it's true, folks. And if we go down here, you can see they've got pictures of the crowds and all that kind of stuff. But guess what? I'm not sure it was actually Inside the Magic that had it first. It might have been WDW News Today, and we'll give credit where credit is due. It says large sections of Barnstormer queue at Magic Kingdom heavily damaged by guests. And if we go down here, you can see that the paint is being pulled off, ripped off by the horde. No, this is a ride for kids. Come on, New York Post. We can't call it hordes. But kids are ripping the paint off of the cannon. You can see that people have ripped the handholds off of the Wheel of Peril. You can see taking it right off of the screws have come out. They've unbolted it. And people are pulling away the paint that is supposed to make it look like it's a wooden post. It's actually metal. They're ripping that off. My gosh, I haven't seen this kind of carnage since the time I got onto Buzz Lightyear's or Buzz's Ranger Spin when the wallpaper was being stripped off the wall by kids. People are carving their names into the wood. They're making Mickey Mouse. Listen, that's just a hidden Mickey. I don't know. That's teeny tiny. I don't know if you all can see that, but somebody's carved a Mickey thing in here. But this is the kind of thing where maybe a decade ago it'd be okay, right? I mean, this looks worn, but they can get out there and fix it and repair it. The problem is when you're paying the kind of money you're paying nowadays to go to Disney, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be total perfection. Maintenance cannot be delayed. And by the way, Disney's still dealing with this. The New York Post now catching on to that story we talked about recently, where black mold was all over the place inside It's a Small World. And you all know you can't be exposed to black mold, but it apparently had been there for a long time. This is getting to be a problem for Disney. I got to say, when I was riding Journey into Imagination the other day, that there was one scene that completely didn't work. Not a single animatronic in the attraction worked. Only the visuals worked. I don't even think the smell release system functioned, which, that was fine by me. I'm not a big fan of that anyway. But poor Nigel, unless he was on a screen, that's the only thing you were getting. Figment was basically frozen. Guys, gals, I'm going to you now and saying you stay at the parks a lot. What are your thoughts on maintenance and the upkeep of the parks? I know people are angry about the Epcot lights not working at night. What say you? Has Disney really dropped in terms of maintenance, or is this just par of the course, maybe?
I feel like maintenance really never came back from the lockdown era the way that they should have, which is ironic because you would have thought maintenance staff would have been the staff that they would have kept during the lockdowns. There was a skeleton crew kept on at Walt Disney World during all of the lockdown. Certainly the botanists and the plant people, they had to stay and take care of things. And there were other groups that stayed. Obviously the Animal Kingdom people that take care of the animals, they had to be there, but they got rid of everybody that they could so that they, which is weird because they kept paying the cast members for not being there anyway for a little while, until they, fed it over to the government for unemployment. But I think that during that time period there were tons of cast members all across every field, and that included maintenance, and they left. And it's been a couple of things difficult to get maintenance and custodial and everything staffed back up, but then you have new people coming in with lower standards of hiring, DEI standards of hiring. A lot of that was that during that 2021, 22, 23 period of DEI hiring. And and I don't think that they like you see it with the cast members when you go now. You see the cast members who have been there a long time. They really, really care. Like there's a lot of cast members still very much care about Disney. So don't get me wrong about that. There are a lot of good cast members. Unfortunately, there are a lot of new cast members. They don't care as much, and it just doesn't seem like the way that it used to be. By the way, I know this isn't verified, but apparently they got the name of the kid that like took that Barnstormer shield, the red and white shield. I think his name is Steven Rogers. Like
he was the only one strong enough to tear that away. Listen, I'm going to defend Disney a little bit. There's two factors at play here, I think, and one is we live in the era of cell phones, right? And we've been there for a while, but there was a time when Disney could get away with a lot of this, when maintenance could put some of this stuff off, and you might hear about it, but now it takes off on social media. It really gets focused upon. The black mold's different, okay? Let's set that aside for a minute. That should have been dealt with. That's a health hazard. But the other thing too is, and MJ, you correct me if I'm wrong on this, I just get the feeling. I got a feeling. No, I can't do that. MJ, are people more destructive these days than they used to be? Because it feels like people go out of their way actually to try to destroy stuff or carve their name or, mark with a Sharpie or whatever. Even though the prices are up, even though Disney has tried to make this be a boutique elite group of guests that are showing up, it feels like people want to destroy things.
Yeah, that's everywhere. I noticed the same thing. People just don't care. It's a really, really strange post-pandemic world, right? Because a lot of it, like you said, has to do with social media. Everyone's posting everything. Everyone has their phones out ready. You can't make a mistake. You can't burp. You can't fart. It's going to go on X. It's going to be on Instagram. It's like, okay, so
it's not stopping Ron, MJ. Not stopping Ron, and frankly, I won't be stopped either.
It's just a shame. I really do think that vandalism is on the rise more than ever. People are frustrated. They're aggravated. A lot of folks do not have control over their children in the parks. I do see a lot of frustrated parents. You're spending a lot of money to be in these parks, and when the heat gets turned on really high, they're just not watching. I feel like a lot of that is mischievous children just touching stuff instead of parents teaching them, hey, keep your hands to yourself. You don't touch that. You have to respect. This is not yours. I don't feel like that's happening. And I remember in the good old days, you would be able to go to the parks and you could leave your stroller and your bag. People are stealing popcorn buckets. People are stealing people's ponchos. I mean, I cannot believe the things that I've heard on social media over the past couple of years. Stuff that never happened before. You could leave a diaper bag with snacks, and leave it with your stroller or your the rental that you have for the day of whatever you're using in the park, and it's like it's gone. When you come back from waiting in line, it's like, where's the respect? Where's the caring, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a combination. There's sort of a snowball effect of bad guests misbehaving, guests behaving badly, and then some, not all, but some cast members that also kind of don't care something or don't want to get involved or let things slide. And there's great cast members too that do, but I have seen social media or not, I never saw this pre-2020, pre-2019, like 2019 before. I was at Magic Kingdom not long ago, and I saw this pile of, it looked like maybe napkins that somebody had discarded, right? Napkins. But they were almost at a cast member's feet, but not one cast member. There were like 5 cast members. Not one of them bent down to pick any of it up. And it's not like I was going to go in there because the cast members were almost like standing around it. And it wasn't like, it wasn't something like special or sacred or had to be cleaned up in a special way. It was just some napkins. Could have been scooped up, put in a trash can, brought back. Real simple, right? Real simple. I used to do that stuff when I was a cast member all the time. As a matter of fact, I was told when this was way back in 2014. So I know it's been like over a decade when I did my initial training. And I was told that you could get fired, probably wouldn't, but could get fired on the spot for not picking up trash, like within a minute of seeing it. Like they taught you, there was old Disney scoop, right? You scoop down, you get the trash, throw it away. No nobody even notices. I used to do that when I was off duty, when I was a cast member and I'd be on the parks. I don't see that as much now, almost not at all.
They trained you as a cast member like it was second nature, right? That was your second nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like as a matter of fact, it was so second nature that when you were off duty, I'm sure there's cast members that still do it. Like you don't even think about it. You're off duty and you're walking around the park. Oh, see trash, bend down, pick it up. And it's just kind of weird that I don't see that nearly as much as I used to. And then there's the other thing that bothers me when cigarette smoking is not allowed in the parks. And yet sometimes I see cigarette butts in the park that haven't been cleaned up. And I'm like, how did that even happen? That's like, it's very strange. Because you have expectations of the Disney parks if you've been going for a long time. Now, if you haven't, it may be different, but if you've been going for a long time, your expectations about cleanliness and everything are very, very high. Like you don't expect to see peeling paint. You don't expect to see
Ron,
really anything dirty.
Is it just me, or when you go to Universal, you see more cast members doing like the trash routine and sweeping sweeping as they go, and you don't see that like as often as Disney, right?
I remember looking for trash at Universal Studios I'm like, I'm gonna check, I'm gonna be aware, right? And I was walking around and like literally not a speck of trash, not a napkin on the ground, nothing. And I'm like, when did this reversal take place? Yeah. It's kind of amazing.
It's like swap places, right?
Yeah. It's they do it. They're doing a very good job over there, and they're really. Universal Parks in Orlando, at least because that's the only experience I have. I don't have experience outside Orlando right now, but the Universal Parks in Orlando have brought themselves up to that level that Disney used to be, and probably have exceeded it, at least right now, when it comes to cleanliness and maintenance anyway.
Now, I do want to say that, in my opinion, and this is anecdotal, but I have noticed, I hope, and I think this is true, that cast members have actually improved since just after the pandemic. And I hope that's true, but it's been my experience. There was a rough time for some of the cast members, I think, after the pandemic, whether they had been rushed through traditions or whatever the case might be. But one thing that really has me worried is, this is an image that's showing the black mold has been cleaned. There was black mold apparently in It's a Small World that was on this boat, and they finally cleaned it. Actually, I better show that, eh? Here we go.
There's a lot of mold also in Toy Story Land on the walls. I don't have that picture ready, though.
So that is a worry, though, for me, is the cleanliness of the parks. I really... the average cast member is not trained, and they should not, and they would get probably fired if they tried to. Their job is not to clean black mold. But Disney needs to be cleaning this stuff. If it's a problem, they need to be getting that out of there, because it's a real health hazard. This can really affect people badly. And I don't know. So, MJ, you're saying that you've seen this in more places than just as a Small World.
Correct.
Okay. And any other places besides where you just described?
No, I saw it in Toy Story Land, and there's a picture also online about it, but I haven't really seen mold when I'm in the parks. But just to continue on with the destruction of things and the wear and tear, last year I brought up the railing that's in front of the castle at the Magic Kingdom. The railing it's almost rotten. It's almost to the point where it's like, how do you call this again? Like rust. So it's just like, this is the number one icon where people propose and take pictures of as a family. How can you allow that to, I don't know how they would refurbish that. They would have to close off sections of that area, little by little, but that needs to be taken care of as well.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Ron, you've been going to the parks for a long time. I'll let you wrap this up for us. Your thoughts on, is Disney even, an unsafe place in some places? That's not my sense, but, I'm starting to wonder, given some of the signs in these attractions, that, maybe they do need to be cleaning up more often.
There are tens of thousands of people in the parks daily. So for the most part, people are safe. Like, they really are, generally speaking, safe. I don't want to give anybody the wrong idea. It's not like you're walking into an absolute danger zone when you go to Disney. Okay, it's safety still taken seriously and all of that, but there are these concerns that it kind of didn't used to happen. Like, you used to be walking around the Polynesian and you didn't have to worry about a piece of the ceiling falling on you, for example. Which
That happened. That happened to our friend Lorena. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then also, what? So there's that. It's a couple of places, by the way, that's happened at the Polynesian, and then in Soren, the land over by Soren, it happened there too. There was a leak. And then there's been, those several times that basically all of Frontierland got flooded. Obviously, with the rivers of America currently drained right now and all of that down, they should be able to fix whatever.
There's also, Ron,
creating that.
Ron, there's also the constant sewage smell in Epcot. I don't think it's a biohazard, but it's unpleasant, and I wish Disney would fix that.
It's not just been in Epcot; it's been in Magic Kingdom too. But there are places in Epcot specifically. I've noticed that, of course, the new walking by Moana's Journey of Water, and then over by the other on the what do you call it? The World Discovery side. I'm trying to remember.
Listen, it's all Future World to me. It's all Future World to me.
But when you walk in front of between that one restroom and where the kids' water feature is, before you go over to the space thing, that's an area where whatever that is in the restroom there is causing it, and there are utilidors there, so something in that area should be able to be fixed through the utilidors and piping.
Do you think that happened when they pulled permits and started the construction of the Moana Journey of Water area, or no?
Well, that's when the smell started.
Okay,
yeah,
that started. Okay,
there's something not quite correct in the routing of the plumbing, I think, in all that whole area, and that's one of the reasons I still think that they don't have a fountain in where they used to have the Fountain of Nations. They rerouted all that water to Journey of Water, and there's something there that's not quite 100% in the infrastructure, I think. Hey, what do I know? I could be wrong.
So 95% of the time while you're Disney, you're not going to smell human waste. 95% of the time, you're not going to see black mold. You're not going to see destroyed queues. But Disney, we're telling you, let's fix the 5%. We're not trying to be negative. We're not trying to be mean. We're not trying to be anti-Disney here. But this is something that needs to be fixed, especially with the rise in prices for going to Disney World. There's an expectation now. Get it right. And that's what we're doing. We're saying get it right because we're always here on the side of the consumer.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.